Feeling really grateful and honored to be with you on this full moon, coming together around this practice. So as Nicole shared, I'll share that I'm calling in from Bogota, Colombia, from Muisca territory. And so as Nicole has shared, we are going to root into the lineage of the practice that brings us together on this evening, this morning. So first, would like to acknowledge the great Tibetan lineage from which this practice comes from. Beginning in the 8th century in Tibet, Guru Padmasambhava, the lotus-born, and his consort Yeshi Sogyal, wisdom queen of the lake, they brought forth and hid many spiritual treasures, including the practice of the earth treasure vases. They concealed these treasure teachings called termas to be held in the inner realms and discovered by treasure revealers called tertins at a later time when they would be needed. The practice of the earth treasure vases re-emerged in the 1880s at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, at a time when humanity's relationship with nature was changing, and when a practice for healing the earth and removing the suffering of all beings in times of degeneration would be needed. At that time, Dujong Lumpa, who was one of the great tertins, these treasure revealers, began to reveal many termas, of which the earth treasure-based practice was among them. His next incarnation was Dujang Rinpoche, who died in the 1980s, who further revealed this practice and many more. He was an important teacher to Cynthia Jors, who received all the empowerments for all of the termas of the entire Dujang Terzar lineage from her root teacher, Gyatro Rinpoche, who was his representative in the West. The earth treasure vase practice is actually a widely held practice by many lineages of the Vajrayana tradition, of the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. In our case, when Cynthia met the old wise man in the cave, the 106-year-old Lama from Nepal, named Sharak Rinpoche, who also held this practice, he passed it on to Cynthia in an answer to her deepest prayers of bringing protection and healing to earth and to all life upon her. So under the direction of Sharak Rinpoche, with the help of Lama Nawang Soltram, the first 2 generations of earth treasure vases were crafted with sacred medicines in the monasteries of Nepal. The 3rd generation vases contain within them the clay of these first 2 generations. They were crafted under the guidance of Tewa elder and potter Marian Naranjo, residing in Pueblo Territory, New Mexico. So we honor the primordial wisdom of Guru Padmasambhava and Yeshi Sogyal, who originated the practice and planted the seed for times to come, for these times. We honor Dujang Terzar, the Dujang Terzar lineage, who rediscovered it when it was needed, this practice. And we honor Sharak Rinpoche for seeing and knowing of Cynthia and for his wisdom and passing it on to her directly, as well as we honor Lama Nawang Soltram, who introduced Cynthia to Sharak Rinpoche and created the original vases and still helps to guide us on the way. We also honor Marian Naranjo and her people for guiding us in the crafting of the 3rd generation and the lands that hold the center of the mandala. And lastly, but not least, to our beloved Cynthia Jors for her enduring commitment these past 30+ years and the manifold gifts she has brought to us and to Gaia through the sharing of this ancient practice, bringing it alive in these times. In Australia, we would also like to honor Auntie Margaret Catherine, who in accepting the Earth Treasure Vase as our teacher, she brought us together as family, and in so doing brought alive this world community. We are grateful to follow in all of your footsteps. Lastly, we honor the many lands and the many peoples who are now part of the living, sprawling ETV mandala story, and Gaia herself. All of our practice, we dedicate it to you.
Thank you so much. So this evening, we have some sharing that will be offered by Rasul, and then we'll go into the meditation. And after the meditation, we'll have time for offerings. And for those of you that read the newsletter, you saw that on this evening, we're not focusing on a specific earth treasure vase or a specific node in the mandala. Instead, we're just breathing into the mandala as a whole. And in the newsletter, we were highlighting some of the art and the action and the dreamings that are happening in different nodes throughout the mandala. And so tonight is a continuation of that. And Rasul is offered to give us a gift of sharing her dreaming with us. And I will let her tell a little bit about that.
Thanks, Nicole. So the dream that I would like to share with you was a tolling bell, letting me know that there was this practice up ahead waiting for me. And I received the dream shortly after, I would say the week after I first went on pilgrimage to Lake Atitlan. This is one of the many hearts of the world, one of the many belly buttons of the world. Lake Atitlan is a place of the Mayan people, place of pottery, place of cacao, place of corn. And it was also the place where I first heard of the Kogi, these elder brothers who are keepers of story and tenders of water. And so this I mentioned because it was them that particularly spoke to Cynthia in the calling of realizing our oneness with Gaia and of being in service of protecting her and all life upon her. And so right after visiting Lake Atitlan and hearing about the Kogi for the first time, I received this dream. And so in this dream, I am out in the desert, and I am part of a large diaspora of people traversing, moving away from our homeland. And there's the sense of strife amongst us. I am towards the front of my people, and I am walking aside an elder. And I am feeling the strife that we are undergoing and feeling the magnitude of what is happening. And I ask him, why does it have to be tumultuous? Why does the change have to be so tumultuous? To which he responded so succinctly, well, one thing leads to the next. Next thing we know, there is a sandstorm rising up in front of us and calling for a moment of pause while it begins to move over and around us. After the sandstorm, we continue moving towards the horizon, and it is as if the light of day is just coming to. We are reaching a dawn point, that place where light and darkness meet. And all of a sudden, I see a giant cosmic sized loom threaded in rainbow threads. Just all of the threads lined up, not quite woven, seemingly waiting for them to be woven. And those threads are connecting to all of us as we are on this journey across the desert, a place where things happen underground, a place where flowers bloom at night. We shift in the dream, and now I find myself in a space that seems never ending, and yet full of this golden, honey-hued saffron light. It's an incandescent space. And in the center of the space, there is a procession occurring in a spiral formation, men, women, and children dressed in deer hides, bare, vulnerable, exposed, and yet radiant in their nobility, moving in a procession towards a center space, each one holding a clay vessel up to the heavens, calling forth water, recognizing themselves as vessel in celebration of life and in correspondence to all life. So I want to thank Gaia and the Dream Maker, recognizing how she dreams through us, and welcome us to carry this this dream, this gift that I share with you, to infuse our meditation at this time and the empowering of the mandala on this evening.
So at this time, you can turn your video off if you like and stay muted, and we'll enter into the meditation and invite you back. Thank you so much, Rasul.
Let us begin by taking a few deep breaths. Breathing in and out, deep and slow. Feeling your body relax. Sensing the ground beneath you, holding you, offering stability and calm. Your roots reaching deep down into the earth. Breathing in and breathing out, drawing up through your taproot the nourishing energies and life force of Mother Earth, which she gives freely and generously to you. Letting thoughts of the past and concerns for the future melt away. In this precious moment of deep communion with the stabilizing and nourishing energies of Mother Earth. And from this place of being deeply rooted and grounded, we open up to the light from above, feeling the warmth upon us from the sun and moon and stars glistening, feeling expansive as we connect with the vast energies of the cosmos, rooted below, connected above, in this present moment, breathing.
As you follow your breath, let's feel our connectedness to this special place you sit on the planet right now. Feeling your relationship with the stones and the soils and the waterways, the trees and the green world, the communities of life who call this habitat their home, just like you, and who also receive stability and nourishment from Mother Earth and the warmth of the sun and the moon in this place, just like you. And in this special place, in this moment, we also acknowledge those who have come before, who have walked this sacred ground before. We acknowledge the ancestors of the original indigenous peoples of the lands that we inhabit, who have been in sacred relationship with these lands for countless generations. Acknowledge the future ancestors of this land who will continue to hold this land as sacred for countless generations to come. We humbly invite all of them to bless our practice and to bless us.
Let us also call upon our sources of inspiration, our own ancestors, elders, teachers, and guides, lineage masters, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and wisdom beings that we feel connected to, and invite them all to be present with us now. Invite their blessings to enter you and everyone who is present for this meditation, and receive the blessing of their love, support, guidance, healing, and clarity. As this blessing enters you, feel this love and caring coming all the way into your deepest heart of hearts. And breathe it in. And breathing out, send this love to everyone who is present in this circle. And breathing in, receive the love that is being sent. Breathing out, sending. Breathing in, receiving. Like the ebb and flow of the tides washing blessings amongst us in this circle. Gradually expanding your focus to include all of your friends, family, and community, and all of those who this practice may serve. Imagine our circle gradually growing from our home, neighborhood, bioregion, country, and continent to include all beings in all places, everywhere, embracing the whole planet with our love, breathing in and breathing out with Gaia.
As we have this sense of rootedness below and expansiveness above, and from our hearts, these waves of love flowing, let's turn our awareness to those who are suffering, the places where there is war, poverty, disease, pollution, droughts, floods, fires, wherever the need for healing is very great. Breathing in the suffering, and on the out breath, sending your love and care to relieve the suffering of the earth, her people, and the communities of life all around the planet. Imagine that where there is hunger, great nourishing gardens begin to grow. Where there is thirst, fresh, clean waterways spring up. Where there are unhoused, safe shelters are built. Where there is war and conflict, choirs of peace echo in the hills. Where there is sickness, vital health is celebrated. And aware of where the earth is unstable, in danger, or out of balance in any way, imagine a restoration of balanced power, bringing protection, regeneration, as you hear the songlines of the land sing in great harmonies. See communities filled with generosity and reciprocity, flowing freely. The beauty and riches of nature flowering into abundance for the sustenance of life, revitalizing this radiant blue-green planet we call home.
As we hold this glowing vision of Mother Earth, we call into our awareness the presence of the earth treasure vases that have been planted or are in the process of being planted all around the world. Let us imagine that together we are pouring our love and caring in the form of light into each and every little clay pot buried in the body of Mother Earth, filling each vase with our deepest prayers and blessings for healing. Imagine each earth treasure vase radiating light in every direction, sending healing and protective energies wherever it is needed, in whatever form it is needed. Let us see the light like a rainbow streaming forth from each of the vases, white, yellow, red, blue, green, and all the colors in between. And breathing in and breathing out, allow the feeling of caring and compassion in your heart of hearts to grow. Send that love out in the form of light to all the people, animals, plants, and places that are connected to the earth treasure vases that need healing and protection in the past, in the present, and in the future. Beginning at the center of the Earth Treasure Vase Global Healing Mandala in a cave above Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, the birthplace of the atomic bomb. And to the north, at the source of the Rio Grande River in Creede, Colorado. To the south, at the mouth of the Rio Grande, at the Gulf of Mexico. To the east, on top of Mount Baldy, above Santa Fe. And to the west, on Mount Chacoma, known as Sycamore, to the Tewa people of New Mexico, the custodians of the sacred lands where this mandala began.
Now, having established the center and the four directions, see the mandala growing in every direction as we name each of these nodes. Indian Point Nuclear Reservation on the Hudson River in New York. To the headwaters, old growth redwood forest in Northern California. The Punta Cometa on the coast of Oaxaca, Mexico. Vilcabamba, Ecuador. Jacova, Kosovo. The Lawrence Laboratory at the University California, Berkeley. The Dao Dum Forest on the border of Thailand and Burma. the village of Ein Karem in Israel, Palestine, Hiroshima, Japan, the cloisters in New York City after 9/11, the Biosphere 2 in Oracle, Arizona, the Martin Luther King Freedom Center in Oakland, California, the source of the Ganges in India, the source of the Amazon in Peru, the Southern Pacific Ocean 93 feet down in Egum Atoll in the Trobriand Islands, Papua New Guinea, the Arctic Circle, Alaska, the Kogi lands of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, Colombia, Telewoyan Village, Lofa County, Voinjama District, Liberia, West Africa, the Blyde River Canyon, Limpopo Province, South Africa, the Giza Plateau, Egypt, Haleakala, Maui, Hawaii, the Itombwe Forest, South Kivu Province, Democratic Republic of Congo, Avebury, England, Binduluk, Jawin Country, Catherine, Northern Territory, Australia.
And the second generation of Earth Treasure Vases in Gabbermong, Armland, Australia, the Mackenzie King Park, Ottawa River Valley, Ottawa, Gatineau, Canada, the original garden in Findhorn, Scotland, the Great Stupa of Budana in Kathmandu, Nepal, the Flint Hills of Kansas in the heartland of America, the Santa Cruz Mountains near Silicon Valley, California, the Valles Caldera of northern New Mexico, Punalulu, Bungle Bungles, the Kimberleys, Australia, the village of Utqiagvik at the edge of the sea in northernmost Arctic Alaska, the Hanford Nuclear Reservation on the shores of the Columbia River in the state of Washington, Mount Ryosen above Fukushima, Japan, back to where it all began at the cave hermitage of Shara, Nepal, to Markabi County, Liberia, in the base of an old ironbark tree in Dithiku Mountain, in the Budawang wilderness of Walbanja Country, Yuin Nation, southeastern Australia, and to our root temple, Tolu Tarling Monastery, in Nepal, the Mundur Valley in Turkey, Serpent Mound in Ohio, to the Ashaninka spiritual portal, Campadorio Amonea indigenous land, Acre, Brazilian Amazon, bordering Peru. The Border Peace School, Cherawan, in the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea, Arwako Territory in Colombia, and in Te Waiponamu, the South Island, Aotearoa, New Zealand, and the vase recently planted on Mount Parnassus above Delphi in Greece.
And the third generation of Earth Treasure Vases in Antarctica, the Isle of Lewis in the Outer Hebrides, Scotland, the Saugatuck Dunes on Lake Michigan in the USA, to the Highwood Valley in the Rocky Mountains in Alberta, Canada, southeastern US Turtle Island, Chickahominy, Tennessee, on the shores of Lake Washington in Kirkland, Washington, near the Life Care Center where COVID began in the USA. And we'd also like to send our support in the form of light, embracing all those Earth Treasure Vases and their stewards of the second generation and third generation vases that are currently gathering prayers and offerings. We have 10 second generation vases and 17 third generation vases. Breathing in and breathing out and sending this embrace. Finally, there are 6 second-generation vases awaiting their dedication who rest on the altar along with the mother vase.
And once again, please take a deep, slow in-breath and a deep, slow out-breath. And imagine all that is needed to relieve the suffering of the earth can be seen as light radiating out from each of the earth treasure vases all around the whole planet in every direction. Imagine this healing light flowing out from the vases, filling the whole global earth treasure vase mandala with the powerful energies of our love and caring. See this healing force traveling through the song lines and meridians of the earth, flowing into each location on the global mandala. See the mandala like a web of light, embracing the whole planet. Feel the light flowing back and forth like waves from your heart to the earth treasure vases, energizing them and adding vitality and brilliance to the light that is then flowing out to the whole area in the sphere of influence of each of the earth treasure vases.
Imagine this light flowing into your own location, your special spot in nature. Feel the collective spiritual intelligence of the entire global earth treasure vase mandala activating your node on the global healing mandala and entering you as a holy vessel. And finally, please focus your concentration one-pointedly on bringing healing and protection to the whole earth for all time. See the healing and protection radiating out from all the vases around the earth in waves of light, flowing back and forth endlessly. And imagine that the healing is accomplished and the vitality of the earth is completely restored.
And recognizing the great interconnected web that is life on earth, of which we are each a part. Let's give thanks for this precious sacred time and pray that the compassion and peace that is our true condition may bring supreme happiness and benefit to the earth and to all beings. With another deep, slow in-breath and deep, slow out-breath, let us bring our awareness back to our body, feeling our feet on the floor, grounded on the earth in our own location, wiggling our toes, opening our eyes, and returning to the circle for sharing prayers and making offerings. Thank you all. Thank you so very much. So at this time, we would like to carry the goodness that we have imbued the mandala with to greet all of the stewards that may be with us at this time in this call or watching the recording alongside the earth treasure vase that they are stewarding. And so our invitation for this circle of sharing, offerings, blessings, and prayers is to direct them into these spaces. Or if you so feel, to send your offering to a particular location on earth, we welcome you to name that alongside your offering. So now the circle is open. And you are welcome to either raise your hand here with the reactions or raise your physical hand, and I will be happy to call upon you. Come on in, Judith.
Thank you, Rasul. I'm holding the vase that's destined for Washington, D.C., seeming like it's coming time for it, perhaps in early next year, in that particular year of political upheaval. But I wanted to ask all of you a special blessing that Rasul and Kat and I are all going to be at the Parliament of World Religions beginning on the 14th of August, and we'll all have our vases there, I believe. And we will be opening them and finding opportunities to ask for blessings, and also just to also share about the mandala. So if you all would be aware of us being there with among 10,000 people, apparently, we would certainly appreciate that, I think. So I wanted to ask that. This little vase first is going up to Saskatchewan to catch some vast energy up there, and then going to Chicago. So she's got travels to do, and hopefully this will imbue her with everything she needs to help next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. Maggie, come on in.
Thank you so much for your beautiful dream, Rasul, and for the beautiful meditation. I'm here in Vancouver, British Columbia, which is situated on the unceded traditional lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people. And this is the vase, which Olivia Fermi and I are stewarding, co-stewarding for British Columbia. And yeah, it's just really lovely to be here with it. The other thing that I have is a little piece of rose quartz. And I think I would like to put it in this vase tonight, along with a blessing. Wendy Dudley had mentioned something about rose quartz, carrying love through all of the vases. And this is the intention of this one. It came to me in a very loving way, and it is now going into the vase in a loving way. So the blessing that goes with it is for love to flow freely, fully through all of the vases, in all of the in the mandala, in all locations, for healing. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Julianne?
Thank you. And thank you, Rasul and Nicole, for beautiful meditation. And thank you, Rasul, for your dream. I wanted to bring into the circle the third generation vase that I crafted at Ghost Ranch. She'll be going to Triple Divide Peak in Montana, which is the source, a water source for 3 oceans, the Atlantic, Pacific, and through the Hudson Bay into the Arctic, and the fresh water that feeds those saltwater bodies. And in particular, not only the water, but the water beings that live within those bodies. So I just wanted to, I'm just also noticing, just the shine of the clay, and it's reminding me so much of, the Tewa world and everything that Marianne Naranjo gave us.
Thank you. Julie?
Hello everyone, I'm Julie from Perth in Western Australia, and so beautiful. Our meditations get deeper and more lush each one that we do. So just really honouring that and everyone sharing. And Rasul, your dreams are just beautiful. Thank you for offering that as well. So for me, I'd like to place in all the vases, through the mandala, through Mother Earth, it's just my gratitude, my love, my joy, my wonder, my awe, just in this incredible divine reconnection. Our beautiful dreamings that we weave and become very magical together with. And I just also want to add in the love that I have for the lions and the elephants and the dolphins and all of Mother Earth's incredible, beautiful beings. And I just all their beautiful sounds moving through the mandala, their footsteps and their voices, as well as our voices and our footsteps as well. And the beautiful breath of all. Aho.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much. Katrin?
Hello, thank you so much. I just wanted to, everyone said so many thank yous, so I'm just echoing those. And also, I want to personally offer my own deep practice of self-healing, of learning how to be in right relationship with myself, as the fractal expression of greater healing, which it is. And that my own work in helping others to heal is also a reverberation across the mandala and through the vases, that just amplifies the power of that healing in each of those locations. Because I feel like that is what I can best offer. So thank you all so much. It's such a blessing. I'm gonna have to get off kind of soon because I have to help some people, but so glad to be with you all. Thank you.
Great to have you with us. Come on in, Leslie and Roger.
Hello, everyone. My whole being is singing with joy and delight being here together. Thank you for the beautiful meditation. It's just so sweet. There's been this experience of just light, many colored light, zipping around the world, of singing tonight for me. And I'd like to share this mighty little vase from Ghost Ranch, a third generation vase that I believe is meant to go to the southern end of the redwood forests here on the coast of California. And I'm in the process of reaching out to the indigenous elders there to see if they welcome that in the space in their land. So I'd like to ask for blessings and guidance from the community and from the mandala to be making right relations so that this vase may find her place as a healing light in the mandala. May it be so. Aho.
So, aho.
We're complete, thank you.
I'd like to share. I'd like to, during the meditation, one place I was really riveted to was the vase for Washington, D.C., Judith. And I realized that I did not know the name of the indigenous people who inhabit, whose territory Washington, D.C. is now on top of. And that just felt like such a huge oversight. And so I was looking it up, and it looks like it's the Piscataway and some other related groups. And I don't know, I just have such a strong prayer to bring those people present and to pray for their thriving presence on the land, and for all the indigenous tribes. I was just thinking it would be an amazing project to put the name with every vase that we've planted, put the name of the indigenous people with every vase. And so my prayer is just for that recognition of the longtime caregivers of the earth that we are joining with, and have a lot to learn from. So thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Olivia?
Hi, everyone. Rasul, your dream really inspired me, and I wanted to share as my offering this image of the young girl awakening and how there's this interconnection of life and the seasons, and I just wanted to offer this image for the healing and protection of the earth into the mandala.
Gorgeous. Thank you, Olivia. Winona.
Well, first I want to honor Badger, who was in that image. Badger is such a fierce healer, and I welcome her presence in this group and offer her to all the Vases that are here tonight and everywhere all at once. But I put my hand up just so that I could offer gratitude for this monthly opportunity to touch into the web. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Winona. I feel to send blessings to Leslie and to the Vase that you will be making your way to the indigenous people of the land of the redwoods. May the way be open. May the wind be at your back, and the curves of the Vase. Knowing that the intention is pure and is for life. So thank you. And to also say that I connect the redwoods with the whales. Somehow I believe I received the story at some point of the redwoods and the whales, and the way that the song lines between the two are really interwoven. And so also a little tip of the hat to the Vase that Osa is stewarding. Sending a greeting from my heart and across the mandala to our whale and cetacean relations at this time. Asking for forgiveness for the way that we have polluted their habitat with lots of obstacles for them to communicate with each other, and that we may find our way back to a right relationship with their habitat, that they may be on the planet for more time to come, and that our children's children may know them in the flesh. Maggie and Ava.
Hi, lovelies. Two thoughts. One is here in Australia, we'll shortly have a referendum, which is asking to give a voice in the Constitution to the Indigenous people. And there's a very strong no campaign against it that's using tactics that we are becoming all too familiar with, that weren't there once upon a time. So a lot of mistruths that are being very powerfully spread. So I ask for the and a few years ago, Indigenous people from all around Australia gathered at Uluru, and they made what is known as the Uluru Statement with their request. It was completely disregarded and dishonoured by the government at that time. This government that now is in certainly has a level of deep respect in that regard and has initiated this process. But it needs the power of truth and potency to allow this yes to come forth at this time for these people, and that this is it's certainly for the people of this land, but as we've expressed here, it's the Indigenous people of all lands getting their true voice and their right. I think for the deeper prayer, I would There is the beauty and potency of each of these vases on the mandala, but there is a force that galvanizes them together. You know, there is this that comes forth that's more than the individual vases. And I think we all know it in terms of our expression of gratitude for the mandala, knowing what it means to us each month as we gather. I think in all the pilgrimages, each one has a story of where kingdoms just come out, you know, and sing and celebrate and join with the whole process that's there. There is a level of what we would call miraculous that comes out of this, that's a result of this compounding of the mandala, of our prayers, of our intent that's there. So I would speak it to honor it and bring it forth, but to also magnify it, that this level of miraculous may be the norm, where we don't even call it miraculous, where it just is a field of force that's so held in us and around us and above us and everywhere it possibly can. So my prayer is this deep acknowledgement of this, I don't know what you call it, this unifying force, this miraculous unifying force of the mandala that is each of us and more than each of us. And may she shine, may she sing, may she reign. That's my prayers, darling.
My prayer is the weaving of them all together, the incredible hands of the beholders of the vases, with all the love that shines through, and may they bring peace, may they bring peace, may they bring peace and love to you all. And what can I say after this incredible beloved woman next to me? So
You say it. You
kisses.
say it. And big hugs to Wendley Dudley.
Yes, indeed.
She's gone. She's managing a lot at the moment. Love you, dear Wendy.
Oh, she's gone. Oh.
Thank you, Maggie and Ava. And here she is. Here's Wendy. Oh, but actually first, I see Nicole.
Well, how about Wendy goes next in direct response? I'll go after Wendy.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I want to offer to everyone, as we are all the vessels, when we carry to steward these beautiful holy vases, a gift that is being offered to me every day this summer from a bird that is known throughout all indigenous cultures and all cultures around the world, of a very common message. And it's this little feather that is really just gray and tawny and seems to be very nondescript, because it carries its message in the gentlest and most silent way, and that is of the mourning dove. And I use the word mourning, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, because I personally am navigating a landscape of much grief and sorrow, but we all are collectively in what is going on. And to be blessed with the presence of up to 12, always in multiples of 3, every day, of mourning doves that have never come to the front of my house for 30 years, and this summer have come in the greatest of flocks. And that isn't just for me personally, that is for me to take the message I receive, that bridge, the message from the spirit world that is coming into our real world, or a different form of a real world, is so potent. And with their beautiful song, and the gentlest of songs that greets the morning, because I also think of them as morning. They come in a time of grief and sorrow, but also to give us hope. And that's what they've done throughout all time, that their bright eye is that bright light that is going to be shining through. And I want to share their magic and their love and potency of peace with every single vase that has been, vase that is, and vase to be forever and eternity. And so I offer to all of them and to all of you within your hearts the blessings of the morning dove. Thank you. And thank you, Maggie and Eva. You just, the tears. Thank you so much. I love all of you. I love this community and its people and this effort that we are doing, sometimes seemingly against all odds, that gets me up every morning and says, yes, yes to it all. For we shall overcome. I do believe this. So thank you. Much love.
Thank you, Wendy. Gracias, hermana. And Nicole.
With Wendy's share influences mine a little. There's 3 parts here. I have a morning dove song, but I'll just sing this part. With the heart of the world, the morning dove cries. With the heart of the world, the morning dove cries. Ultimately, it's a song of hope and of letting the grief tears fall to open our hearts. And just the other night, I had a dream about a mourning dove. And in the dream, I walked into a bedroom, and it was a room that I had created. And the bedspread had beautiful roses all over it. And the chairs had fabrics covered in roses. And I was like, wow, I really love what I picked out here. I don't remember doing that, but I really love it. And then I heard this chirping, this, ooh, ooh, happening in the room. And I looked up at the shelf, and she was up there, and she was that beautiful, that soft downy color, but she was real kind of peachy, kind of like had a peach tone to her. And I found the hole in my window where she got in, and I helped her get back out. And then she just flew, and it was glorious and joyful, and she was just free out there. So I just offer that. It was a beautiful, tender dream, and very connected and loving. So I share that into the dreaming of the mandala with you, honoring your process. Thank you for your prayers. And 2 are on my heart. I'm feeling Italy vase. I feel Sicily. It's on fire right now. Someone started fires, and the Scirocco winds are amplifying them, and it's moving across the island. And so I'm just feeling my own heartbeat and my deep love and connection to the heartbeat of that land. And knowing that your heartbeat is strong, that you've endured so much, and you will continue to sing your song and play your rhythms in strength and in beauty and in dignity. And I love you. Prayers to all the communities of life that will be recovering from these fires, all human and non-human realms, just amplifying the prayers that are already happening there. And my final offering of what's on my heart in the mandala is the young people. And all the young people in the sphere of influence of every vase, that they feel the vitality of their seeds of purpose inside, and that in their environment, whether it's human or non-human, they feel seen. They feel so seen, and those seeds inside get watered, and they can feel themselves and the dreaming of the earth moving through them in their purpose. And I'm just sending that prayer to all the vases, that just can spread to all the young people who are emerging right now in these times. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on in, Itai, and perhaps Therese alongside you. Oh, it's Therese.
Hello, it's me on Itai's computer. Thank you. I'm here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, in the land of Tainui, Te Tangata Whenua, the people of the land here. And I'm feeling so strongly my heartstrings and my heart songs awakened by your sharing, Maggie and Eva. This prayer for Australia, for the voice for Aboriginal people. Yeah, that's coming up at the end of the year, that referendum, and I would just like to really bring in a prayer to activate all the vases that are linked in with Australia, all the vases that are in Australia, and all of the beautiful people, all of the beautiful hearts that are in Australia, to activate and help this big prayer for the voice for people, for the Indigenous people of Australia. So I'm calling up Gabon and Mama Margaret and Millie Wonga and Daddy David, and some of these people are on the other side of the veil now, so call them in. I call in the other vase in Jawan country and Mama Margaret's land. I call in the Punalulu vase and all of the beautiful elders that went with Maggie and Eva up into the Kimberleys, into the Bungle Bungles up there. I call in the vase from Yuin Nation and Ben and his mob and all the elders down there in southeastern Australia. And the vase that's working now with Julian in southwestern Australia, down in Noongar country, and all the beautiful Noongar people of southwestern Australia. And centering it into Uluru, with Uncle Bob Randall, to Uluru, to Karajuta, to the powerful rocks in the centre there, the powers of the rainbow serpent, the powers of the songs that stream out from the song lines in the centre of Australia, and all of the beings, all of the life energies that can help. And I'm feeling to share a story from Australia. It's from up in the lands close by the Punalulu vase, and it's a land rights story. It's actually a song which the chorus lyrics are, "From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow." And that feels so connected with like the energy that each of the vases carry. But also, yeah, may a big change come now in Australia. So this is a story from the Gurindji people and their land rights fight in Australia from 1966. The anniversary is coming up on the 23rd of August, so it's within this moon cycle, the anniversary of the time where they got their land the recognition that the land is theirs, granted to them by the Australian government. So gather round, people, and I'll tell you a story. It's an 8-year-long story of power and might, of British Lord Vestey and Vincent Lingari, opposite men on opposite sides. Vestey was fat, with money and muscle. Beef was his business, and broad was his door. Vincent was lean. He spoke very little. He had no bank balance, and hard dirt was his floor. The Gurindji, they were working for nothing but wages, where once they had gathered the wealth of the land. And as daily the oppression got tighter and tighter, Gurindji decided, we must make a stand. So they picked up their things, they picked up their swags, and they started off walking. And at Waddy Creek, they sat themselves down. And it don't sound like much, but it sure got tongues talking. First back at the homestead, and then in the town. Well, Vestey was furious. Vestey said, hey, listen, I'll double your wages. 7 quid a week you'll have in your hand. Vincent said, we ain't talking about wages. We'll sit right here till we get our land. Vestey man roared, Vestey man thundered. He said, you don't stand a chance of a cinder in snow. Vince said, if we fall, others are rising. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow. So Vincent Lingari, he boarded an aeroplane and he went down to Sydney, the big city of lights. And daily he just went round, softly speaking his story to all kinds of men from all walks of life. And Vincent sat down with big politicians. And this affair, they said, it's a matter of state. Let us sort it out. Your people are hungry. But Vincent said, no thanks. We know how to wait. So Vincent Lingari returned in an aeroplane back to his country, once more to sit down. And he said to his people, let the stars keep on turning. We've got friends in the south, in the cities and the towns. And so 8 years went by, 8 long years of waiting, of sitting, of just sitting on the land. Until one day, a tall stranger appeared in the land, and he came with his lawyers, and he came with great ceremony, and through Vincent's fingers, he poured a handful of sand. He gave him his land back. He acknowledged the land was his. And so this was the story of Vincent Lingari. But this is the story of something much more, of how power and privilege cannot move a people who know where they stand, and they stand in their law. From little things, big things grow. From little things, big things grow.
From little things, big
Big
things.
things grow.
From
little things, big things grow.
From little
things,
things
things
grow.
grow.
From little
Little things, big things grow.
Love you. Beautiful. Mm. Mm.
And I held in a lot of tears there, but I'll go and let them flow onto Mama Earth. I'm not going to hold them in forever.
Mm.
Thank you, dear Morning Dove. Would anyone else like to share at this time? Yes, Heidi.
I just want to vitalize everything that everyone has said, the dreams, the stories, everything. And in one tradition that I know, the sound of the dove is who, and it's like the wind blowing, who. And it blows through everything, but it actually comes from the stars and it comes from the cosmos, and it blows the breath into every vessel and gives life. It is a vitalizing sound, and it is what we all have. We all receive it, and we all have it to give. And so that's what I give to the mandala, and the remembrance that power is who we are. We're not separate from that power. It actually is our birthright, and it just needs space to grow and be nourished properly. And when we don't have space and we don't have what we need to nourish it, it can't grow. But its potential is always there for us. And so may whatever is needed, may it come, and may it come in the form and in the strength that is needed at whatever level. So may that's my prayer for everyone here. And I'm grateful to be here this day. And may we just remember we have that. Nobody has really taken it from us. We need to remember that. It may look that way, but that's just something that's on top of something else. And we just need to I always say, let the covers off so that the breath can get in and vitalize what needs to be vitalized. Anyway, thank you everyone for just the amazing love that is present here.
Thank you, Heidi. Yes. Marita?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I will follow up on the wind that Heidi just spoke of. And in here, I haven't seen the movie Oppenheimer yet, but I did read about the downwinders, those people who were downwind of the Trinity explosion, or and that word has just been floating through my mind and heart during this meditation, the downwinders. And so I offer a prayer to all of the vases, whether they're buried or whether they're being stewarded now, or whether they're sitting on the shelf with the mama vase in Cynthia's home. It is that what we're working on is healing those who are downwind of all the intentions that all of these vases hold. And so I offer a special prayer for the healing for the downwinders tonight. And thank you, you lovely, delicious, wonderful people who have heard a calling in your heart and come together in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Marita. It seems we might be complete at this time. So let us gather up all of this merit, all of this goodness. Giving thanks for our time together, for the heartfelt offerings. And Nicole?
I'm going to offer the dedication of merit, but I think I would just like to hold a moment of silence for all the prayers unnamed that are present here, and just allow what has been spoken to be received and all unnamed to be honored. So I'm just going to hold the silence for a minute before I offer the dedication. We do not cling in any way to the virtue and goodness we have generated, in order that all beings may benefit from it. We dedicate it in the realm of totality. For as long as the earth remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, may these earth treasure vases too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Through the merits of this practice, may all beings live in peace and harmony. May there be no more war or conflict, and may all hearts be filled with compassion. Thank you, everyone.
Alalaho. Thank you.
Thank you.